U.S. Congressman Randy Fine is now calling Track APAC, the tracker on X that tells you how much money politicians are getting from the Israel lobby. He's now calling it a Muslim terror cell. A Muslim terror cell. I don't think anybody that actually leads Track APAC is Muslim or Arab, but now apparently it's a Muslim terror cell for exposing how much politicians are paid from the Israel lobby. This is absolutely wild. Take a listen to this and then let's talk about it.
I trust the FBI. They kept us safe. I'm sure they're continuing to work. But what I hope we look at as well is the radicalization of this. One of the reports that I read said a Muslim terror cell by the name of Track APAC, a group that literally tries to radicalize Americans by making up lies about politicians, inspired these people. So I think we have to look at how this propagandizing from overseas affects our American folks and makes them hate their fellow Americans and act in this way. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but hopefully this creates a renewed sense of security for the government, for members of Congress.
All they do, APAC trackers stated, Randy Fine called our organization a Muslim terror cell on national television. Rep Fine has received over $516,000 from pro-Israel plaques and blocked us on both of his accounts for calling him out. Is he allowed? I don't think he's allowed to block Track APAC, but apparently he did. I think that, I mean, can you not sue for this sort of thing? Can't you sue when a politician just blatantly lies, like calling somebody a Muslim terror cell? At what point, what? So anyways, now this is not just coming out of nowhere, because keep in mind, this is really now the new thing. Guess what's going to happen now? Laura Loomer, I just made a whole other video on Laura Loomer basically calling to ban Track APAC. Anna Kasparian stated she's against Americans being informed about who our politicians sell themselves to. I just made a video on that. You notice now how it went from Laura Loomer to Randy Fine, and now they're both using these same weird talking points together. It's the new thing they're going to attack. They're going to try to ban Track APAC, and they're going to push a movement behind it. Watch how many now U.S. congressmen are going to start randomly putting out lies about Track APAC to shut it down. If that doesn't worry you, the fact that politicians that are bought out are going to put laws forward or put a fake campaign against this organization that simply states how much money they're getting. If that doesn't worry you, I mean, at what point do we declare war on these people? What is this? And this guy, the fact that he's in Congress is exclusively because of his support for Israel, exclusively because of Donald Trump endorsing this man, endorsing this guy who's just truly unhinged maniac drooling for blood. He's actually bloodthirsty. He has made many tweets that I think a lot of you guys have already seen now, calling for the streets of Gaza to be overflowing with blood. What politician says, who in their right mind would say something like that? More bombs away. Who in their right mind would say something like that? Yet Track APAC that just simply says this is how much money these politicians are getting, that's now the Muslim terror cell. So APAC Tracker said, Laura Loomer says anyone who reposts us should be banned from Twitter. That's exactly what she stated, actually. She previously stated censorship is un-American, but I guess not now. Let's see. Laura Loomer once cried on air over internet censorship. Now she's calling for internet censorship. What has changed? This is what they do. Mark Levin says targeting Jews and who is repeatedly dehumanizing Jews online. Then you'll get the answer. Apparently now doing that is now targeting Jews. I really want to show you guys what Track APAC is all about. Track your U.S. congressman. This is genuinely all it is. Let me share my full screen here. Track your U.S. congressman, and it tells you they have an Israel lobby tracker. You can track who your politicians are and how much money they're getting from the Israel lobby. You need to reach out to me so I can update their website. I bet you I can make it look a better UI. But no, anyways, this is all it does. This is all it does. Apparently now it's the Muslim terror cell organization. I mean, what do we not? How do we fight back? I mean, do we just keep taking this? I think they just keep seeing how much more they can get away with because they know that nobody's actually going to do anything about it. So they just keep pushing. They just keep pushing. If I was Track APAC and watching this, you guys need to sue. I mean, you can't have a guy calling you guys a Muslim terror cell. Doesn't that violate isn't that just straight up lies? Calling somebody a terrorist organization, a group of people, that is actually, inciting violence, and they cry about inciting violence while he calls people a terrorist organization. What do you think that's doing for the Israel First mob? They're all going at the attack now over this organization. So, here's the thing. This is we just have to do something to stop this. Let me see, what else did I want to show you guys? Actually, there was a clip here that I wanted to show you guys about Ben Shapiro just absolutely losing his mind. Now, keep in mind, AIPAC Tracker is doing this because they're obviously, well, they've been doing this for a while now, but we're coming up towards midterms. So now they're getting really worried, these politicians that are receiving Israel money, because AIPAC Tracker is just stating this is how much money this person is getting, this is how much money this person is getting. Ben Shapiro, he starts talking about the midterms, stating that actually Donald Trump's been being really smart because he's just going to manipulate people so that way Republicans get more support for the midterms, Republicans stay in control of the Senate and the House, and then the bombing campaign will start again after the midterms is over. That's really the point of this Iran deal, and it's all just, a slap in our faces. So take a listen to this, and then let's talk about it.
After the midterms, once those elections are over, and again, the president is deeply concerned about the economic health of the country right before the election. He believes that if the economy is doing better, if oil prices are lower, then that means that maybe Republicans hold the House. It means that Republicans hold the Senate. Okay, well, what does that mean for after the midterms? Well, I do trust that President Trump will start to enforce red lines after the midterms. The president was threatening just that yesterday.
If they don't honor the agreement, or some things aren't even mentioned in the agreement, it's a memorandum of understanding, but we have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it. It's amazing what bombs can do.
It's amazing what bombs can do. So is Ben Shapiro right? Could this just all be for midterms? I think very likely. I think very, very likely. Not just for midterms, though. Very likely it's obviously to calm down the markets because things were really going to were really going to escalate. We were running out of our oil storage. Other countries were as well. So many other countries are totally reliant on oil imports, by the way. That's all true. That's all true. Now, after midterms, what's going to happen? We have to keep in mind, Netanyahu has his own elections to worry about. His plan, and I was reading, was it Foreign Policy or Politico? I can't remember which article I read. His plan was that, the Iran war was going to be a successful victory and Iran's government was going to be toppled over. There would be a pro-Israel government in place. And then Donald Trump would basically support Netanyahu and fly to Israel and campaign for him during the Israeli prime minister elections. And Netanyahu would end up being victorious and he would never have to go to prison because right now he's in trial for Israel, for potentially prison. So that was the game plan. Now, how likely is it? Because Netanyahu is still going to need Trump to campaign for him in Israel. So what's going to happen there? Is Trump going to actually go to Israel to continue campaigning for Netanyahu? I personally think yes. I have a hard time imagining that Trump will just let that fall. Unless we really escalate things until there is actual anger on both sides because Netanyahu is just really destroying things for Trump. How likely is that, though? I think most likely we are going to see Trump flying over there and campaigning for him. That is what most likely is going to happen. And I think most likely he probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins. Because right now the other side is trying really hard to make sure he doesn't win, but they just don't have the same coalition strength that Netanyahu does, unfortunately. And then what? And then we're going to have to deal with more of this hell. If Trump doesn't campaign for him, I will be very, very, very shocked. Very shocked and surprised. It would be a great thing. Let's hope he doesn't. But most likely that's what Netanyahu had in mind. If Trump distances, that would be wonderful. If we can keep exacerbating the tensions right now and make things worse, so that way he just is left alone, that would be great. We'll have to wait and see. JD Vance is a little bit different. He's doing his own thing. You know how many interviews he's done in the past 2 days intentionally? He's going to all of these media outlets. Why is he doing that? He's trying to rile up support for this peace deal, but more than anything, he's trying to rile up support for himself because he has a 2028 presidential campaign and he wants to come off that he's different for Trump. That's why he made all that rhetoric he did yesterday, saying Israel needs to stay in line and really trying to be tough. He's doing that to rile up his voters. He's doing that because he wants Americans to feel like, yeah, I can be in charge. I can do this. That's the only reason he's doing this. It's not for anything else. Now, does he actually feel that way? Maybe he does. Anna Kasparian on the Young Turks yesterday, she said that, it felt like it was something he was holding in and he was getting ready to just let out. And maybe that is actually true. I think that what I do know is that he's in tune with what's going on social media. I see him. He even comments on some of those accounts, those anti-Israel accounts. He's done that previously. So I know he's in tune with it, but is that actually going to change? Is that actually going to lead to a change in action? No, I mean, I have a hard time believing it. He's a Peter Thiel concoction. He's also going to need millions of dollars for a presidential run. You need about $1 billion. That's basically what you need now to win a presidential election. He's going to have to kiss a lot of butt in order to fork up that much money. So I mean, typically what happens is you have to go to the Zionists in order to get that much money because you're low on cash and you need cash anywhere you can go. So you just sell yourself to whoever you can. That's what happens. And whoever ends up giving you the most money is who you end up shifting your policies for more. We'll just have to wait and see how things unfold moving forward. Let's hope Randy Fine is not in office much longer, but we'll just have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, I'd appreciate it if you give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button as well. It helps me reach more people like you. Also, if you want to track where your politician is receiving their funding, then definitely check out votelog.org. Told you guys a lot about it. It's the site I built out for you guys. You can see the most pro-Israel, pro-Palestine, really just pro-America members of Congress, because it doesn't really require much aside from just stop sending bombs to Israel. And then I added these really cool, I have a whole entire persuadability graph that I put together. You can see what I consider the most most persuadable members of Congress based on voting records that you should be calling out. I've done a lot of other tests as well, and you can actually download all the data on these tests. I have an America First graph where I tested up Republicans. Not surprising, Thomas Massie is the #1 most top America First Republican. Not based on his statements at all. This is purely based on voting record. No surprise there. If you enjoy VoteLog and you want to support, consider donating at votelogs.org. Thank you so much to the 86 supporters. I really appreciate it. The money just goes to really build the site out so I can add more features, and I'm going to be releasing campaign candidates as well. Right now, it's just current politicians, not people running, but hopefully that will change soon. Otherwise, I will talk to you guys again soon. Take care and have a great day. Bye, everybody.